When we first planned a family international trip this year, our goal was simple: to find a destination that was affordable, exciting, and easy for us to visit. We compared different options by looking at travel costs, daily expenses, and how much we could explore within a week. That's when Malaysia stood out. A country full of culture, modern cities, lush nature, and mouth-watering food, all at a budget-friendly cost. So here begins our 7-day Malaysian journey. We left home at around 2 p.m. and reached near Terminal 3 of Cochin Airport by 6 p.m. Since snacks and other food items are usually expensive inside the airport, we bought some groceries from a bakery shop outside the terminal. Cochin International Airport has 3 levels. First, I took my family to the 3rd floor departure area of Terminal 3. I noted the pole number and dropped the family along with the luggage there. I then returned to the parking area below, keeping the pole number in mind. I decided to park the car at the airport for 7 days, so that on our return, we could easily collect it and head home. We chose the parking lot inside Terminal 3, on the ground floor. Cochin Airport charges a daily parking fee of 350 rupees for private vehicles. Initially, I thought it would be 350 rupees x7 for 7 days. But since we were arriving back on the 7th day at night, we would actually be charged for an extra day. So, the total came to 2,800 rupees. I searched for a parking space near the arrival area so that collecting the car on our return would be easier. Finally, I found a suitable spot and noted down the pole number where I parked. There is also an elevator facility outside the Level 1 arrival area, which goes directly to the departure level. I took that elevator and headed straight to the pole number where I had dropped off my family. The children were very excited to be going to a new country, and even more excited about their very first flight as they were growing up. With that joy, we entered the airport. But the AirAsia check-in counter wasn't open yet. So, we had a long wait inside the airport. In the meantime, the children played with the trolleys inside the airport, which gave us a bit of relaxation. Our check-in started within an hour. After collecting our boarding passes, we headed towards the immigration counters. There is a currency exchange facility near the immigration counter at the airport. We exchanged Malaysian currency from one of the agencies there, for about 20,000 rupees, at a fair exchange rate. From my experience, I would suggest exchanging currency either at Kuala Lumpur Airport or at NU Central Mall in Kuala Lumpur Central, where you usually get decent rates. At immigration, we had requested a printout of the MDAC, Malaysia's digital arrival card, which can be filled online for free, just 3 days before the trip. Malaysia currently offers visa-free entry for certain foreigners, requiring only the submission of MDAC, Malaysia Digital Arrival Card, details within 3 days prior to arrival. This initiative is part of the government's efforts to boost tourism and support economic growth. While we were waiting for our flight at the boarding gates, we came to know that our 10:35 a.m. AirAsia AK-38 flight was delayed by more than 3 hours. Around 1:30 a.m., the AirAsia authorities provided us with some snacks in consideration of the delay. Soon after finishing the snacks, the boarding finally started. And here begins our journey to Malaysia. And finally we left to Malaysia for the 7-day trip. Day 1. Kuala Lumpur International Airport. We reached Kuala Lumpur International Airport around 10:30 a.m. Malaysian Standard Time, which is 8:30 a.m. in Indian Standard Time. Originally, our flight was scheduled to arrive at 5:30 a.m. Malaysian Standard Time. After getting off the flight, we walked further inside the terminal. Since the long journey had left us exhausted, we freshened up in the nearby washrooms. However, I would always recommend getting into the immigration queue first. It's better if at least one member of the family waits in line while others use the washrooms. Otherwise, you may end up stuck in the long immigration queue. On the way to immigration, there are mobile SIM card counters. We purchased a Malaysian SIM card for RM25, which included 20 gigabytes of free data on the Hotlink network with a validity of 7 days. We chose this plan considering the quality of the network, our duration of stay, and the fact that almost all the hotels we booked had Wi-Fi. From my experience, it's better to avoid these counters at first and head straight to clear immigration, as the queues can get very long. There are plenty of SIM card counters available outside after immigration clearance. After a long walk through the airport towards the Malaysian immigration counters for foreigners, we came across a prolonged queue. To my surprise, the queue moved very slowly, as the immigration clearance for each person took quite a long time. Such a long queue reminded me of my initial days in Saudi Arabia, when I worked there as an engineer between 2013 and 2018. But later, I had witnessed how the process there improved significantly. Here in Malaysia, the waiting was so long that many travelers, especially those with children, were sitting down in the queue. After waiting for around 2.5 hours, we finally cleared immigration and came outside. Since we were carrying only cabin luggage, we didn't have to wait at the baggage collection area. There is a modern mall named Gateway at KLIA2, built inside Kuala Lumpur International Airport Terminal 2, mainly on level 2 of the arrivals area. Right at the entrance to the mall, there is a huge food court offering almost all the significant dishes of Malaysia, along with a variety of international options. Since we were tired and hungry after the overnight travel, we decided to try some Malaysian food. Even though we didn't know the exact taste of the dishes, we simply ordered by looking at their pictures. Claypot seafood rice with egg and vegetables. Claypot prawn rice with egg and vegetables. It turned out to be a good experience, especially since our children were trying Chinese chopsticks for the first time. Though the food was just okay, our hunger wasn't fully satisfied. So, we ordered a bit more from a nearby pick and pay buffet restaurant to fill our bellies and recover from the exhaustion. After having food, we roamed around level 2 of the arrivals area. It was quite a nice experience. They had set up a city-like shopping mall inside the airport, with prices almost the same as those in the city shops. At the front side of level 2, we could also see private taxis arriving to pick up their riders from the airport. However, the main transportation hub is located on level 1 of the airport. So, we took the lift down to level 1. Since we had some luggage, we preferred going by taxi instead of taking a bus or the airport licensed taxis, all of which are accessible from this level. The level 1 transportation hub is well equipped with various options, including express buses like Aerobus and Skybus, direct Grab car services, and licensed airport taxis. We booked a Grab taxi from the booking office near door number 5 on level 1 to reach our Airbnb hotel. We chose to travel by taxi even though there were other options like city buses and metro trains. The main reason was the luggage we had, and we also wanted to avoid exhaustion on our very first day in Kuala Lumpur. Carrying bags from bus stops or nearby train stations would have been difficult, so a taxi was the most convenient choice. The ride took about 1 hour, covering nearly 56 kilometers from KLIA, which is located in the Sepang district of Selangor. Most hotels across Kuala Lumpur, the standard check-in time is 3 p.m. You can sometimes check in earlier by paying an additional amount or if rooms are available. We reached our property around 2 p.m. As instructed by the Airbnb property owner through WhatsApp, we only had to give our names at the security gate and then collect the key from a password-enabled mailbox. The password was shared with us in advance via WhatsApp. We collected the key and headed up to the apartment on the 40th floor of the building, which had a total of 50 floors. On the way to our apartment, we could see a beautiful view of the city from the 40th floor. The apartment itself was amazing. And the property offered several facilities spread across different levels, including a gym with an infinity sky view, a multipurpose hall with a balcony, a yoga room with a balcony, a sky garden, a sun lounge, a 50-meter lap pool with water spout, a children's beach zone, a children's pool with a slide, as well as a jacuzzi lounge and jacuzzi showers. Since Airbnb follows a review system to build trust between hosts and guests, it is always better to take videos and photos of the property and its items upon arrival. This helps record any existing damages or marks on the walls and ensures you can avoid future disputes about damages that were already present before your stay. After setting up everything in the Airbnb apartment, we took a short nap to recover from the exhaustion of our journey. Near the reception area of our residence, there was a pleasing indoor greenery setup that added a refreshing touch. In the evening, after exploring the amenities of the residence, we booked a taxi through Grab and headed to KLCC, Kuala Lumpur City Centre. Grab is a widely used and integral platform in Malaysia, offering a variety of services including ride-hailing, food delivery, grocery delivery, and package delivery. It was a fascinating experience to see Kuala Lumpur City while riding in the Grab taxi, and we were eagerly waiting to reach KLCC. The taxi dropped us near Surya KLCC, a 6-story shopping mall located at the foot of the Petronas Twin Towers. We walked closer to the Petronas Towers and felt truly excited to be near this amazing landmark, which we had only seen through media before. We spent time walking around the towers, taking many photos and videos, while the kids were equally thrilled. We took many photos with the Petronas Towers in the background, as these iconic twin skyscrapers are among the most significant landmarks that everyone wants to capture in their memories. The area around the Petronas Towers was filled with both tourists and locals, all eager to capture their moments. Many photographers also approached us, offering to take and print photos for a nominal charge ranging from 10 to 30 Rm. Soon, the kids started asking for juice and ice creams, so we looked around nearby shops and street vendors for some refreshments. One of the advantages in Malaysia is that it's easy to find halal certified food almost everywhere, unlike in China. From a street vendor, we tried a Chinese chicken roti, which turned out to be very tasty. We then headed further to KLCC Park, just across the street from the Petronas Towers. The park is well known for its Lake Symphony water fountain shows, which are free to watch. These nightly performances take place at 7:30 p.m., 8:30 p.m., and 9:30 p.m. When we reached, the musical Lake Symphony had just begun its trial run. We could see a large crowd gathered around the lake, especially tourists, all waiting to enjoy the show. It was a truly wonderful show. We enjoyed watching the city skyline along with the Petronas Towers beautifully lit up at night during the performance. It was an amazing experience to see the fountain synchronized with the music, featuring more than 150 unique light animations. This spectacle takes place daily at the 10,000 square foot Lake Symphony in KLCC Park. We also walked through KLCC Park, a 50-acre urban sanctuary in the heart of the city. The park includes a children's playground, a public wading pool and splash area, and a 1.3-kilometer jogging track that encircles the park. It was designed by the late Brazilian landscape architect Roberto Burle Marx, with the idea of blending greenery into Kuala Lumpur's modern architecture. Originally, we had planned to visit the park in the morning after landing at 5:30 a.m. But because of the flight delay, we only reached our apartment in the afternoon, forcing us to cut short some of our planned nearby attractions. We decided instead to explore the city more fully the next day using the KL Hop-on Hop-off bus service, a double-decker sightseeing bus that makes Kuala Lumpur city exploration easy and fun. The bus covers 27 stops along two main routes, the city route and the garden route. After roaming through KLCC Park, we began to feel hungry and decided to head towards Jalan Alor Food Street, which we had heard is very famous for its variety of street food. We walked back near the Petronas Towers to use it as a pickup point for a Grab taxi to Jalan Alor. Unfortunately, many of the Grab drivers kept cancelling after first accepting our request, most likely because of the heavy traffic around the Petronas Towers and also near Jalan Alor Food Street, or perhaps due to the short distance. So instead, we decided to take a little walk ourselves towards Jalan Alor Food Street. On our way to Jalan Alor Food Street, we discovered the Bukit Bintang walkway, an elevated, fully air-conditioned pedestrian path, something we were seeing for the first time. This walkway opened in 2012 at a cost of Rs 100 million. The project was funded by Petronas to make the city safer and more convenient for visitors. It was built to reduce thefts in the busy tourist area and to encourage people to walk comfortably between Bukit Bintang, the Kuala Lumpur Convention Centre, and Surya KLCC Mall. With CCTV, security, and cool air, this walkway isn't just practical, it's a modern, welcoming space that makes exploring the city a lot more enjoyable. We continued walking outside the Bukit Bintang walkway, following Google Maps towards Jalan Alor Food Street. After quite a bit of walking, we finally reached a street that looked like a food hub, filled with restaurants, but it didn't match the lively Jalan Alor we had seen on social media. By then, hunger had already caught up with us, especially for the kids, and when children get hungry, things can quickly get a little difficult. So, instead of searching further, we decided to settle at a nearby restaurant that seemed convenient for us to eat. As usual for Indians, especially us Keralites, we started by ordering tea and then chose our food simply by looking at the photos in the menu. The dishes arrived and turned out to be quite good. Afterward, we bought some refreshments from a nearby shop and decided to head back to the hotel to rest for the next day's plans. We tried booking a Grab taxi, but once again, the drivers kept cancelling due to heavy traffic near Jalan Alor. To make it easier for the Grab taxi to pick us up from a convenient, less crowded area, we walked through an unfamiliar street. On the way, we unexpectedly stumbled upon the real Jalan Alor Food Street, vibrant, bustling, and lined with countless street food vendors. Since our stomachs already full and the hour getting late, we didn't explore much and continued walking to find a convenient pickup point. Along the way, we also noticed many streetwalkers across the area waiting for their clients, something not unusual in big cities worldwide. After some distance, we finally reached a quieter spot. We booked a Grab taxi from there to return to our hotel, and this time, the taxi arrived promptly without any delay. The ride back to our hotel was peaceful, and we reached our hotel, concluding the attractions of our first day in Kuala Lumpur. The city's night view looked poetically fascinating from our apartment, resembling a river that never stops flowing. With hopes for the next day's adventures, we concluded our day and went to sleep.